Welcome to Looplearnings, and in today's video we are going to make dashboard in Microsoft Access. So stick around and let's get started. If you're a regular visitor of my channel, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to Looplearnings. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon because I make at least one video a week. One video, either it is for soft skill or it is for the videos something like you are watching right now. Alright, so let's talk about today's topic. This is the third part of the video series. We are making a Microsoft Access application, and I have explained everything in part 1, which is the link of that both parts, part 1 and part 2, is in the description below. So I would encourage you to watch those two parts also. I will walk you through step by step how can you make a software in Microsoft Access. And this is the third part, and in today's video I'm going to demonstrate how you are going to make this dashboard. So dashboard will be exactly like this, the one you are looking at right now. We are going to make a dashboard, full form, and we'll have a couple of text boxes here. We'll have tiles, and every tile will have its own button. So that's what we are going to do. And again, if you haven't watched the part 1 and part 2, the links are in the description below. Please make sure that you watch those as well, so you understand what exactly we are creating. So let's jump right into Microsoft Access now, and let's create this dashboard. So now we are in Microsoft Access, and in last video we made login screen. We haven't done coding yet. As I mentioned, we are going to create a structure first, and then we are going to embed the coding behind each object or element. So this is what we made in previous video. If you haven't watched, this is a series of videos we are creating for Microsoft Access. If you haven't watched, there are 2 videos already, so you should be looking at those 2 before you coming in on the third one, so you get to know what is the objective, what we are creating, and so it will be easy for you to follow along. Alright, so let's create another form today. Today we are going to create a dashboard. Everybody has a different style. What I like is tiles on the form, so it's easy and nice looking for anyone to operate easily. So we are going to create a dashboard. Similar to this, we are going to create form first. So to create form, click on create and then click on form design. Once you do that, as you remember, if you have watched the previous video, first I would like to do a little housekeeping. What do I mean by housekeeping? So first let's change the size of this form. So we'll extend it till 16, and we'll make it a little bigger because we are going to create some tiles on this form. So I think this is enough. And if we go to the form view, we will see that as part of housekeeping, we have to get rid of this record selector and navigation. So let's go to the design view and format in the property sheet. Again, just to memorize, or for people who are just watching this tutorial, if you don't see a property sheet, just click anywhere in the not anywhere, on the corner of the form, click design and then property sheet. So you will be presented with property sheet. So now we are going to get rid of record selector. Record selector at the moment is yes, so we'll make it no, we don't want it. And navigation button we don't want, okay, because this is the single form we don't want. And you see this gray line, this is because we have turned on the the scroll bars, and we don't want scroll bars either. So scroll bars at the moment, both So we'll click on and we will choose neither. All right, now the first thing I would like to do before we go ahead and do anything else, right click here and save the form. That's very important. If your form is not saved, and then whatever your work you have done, that will be lost if in case something happened. So save the form. So we are going to create this as a dashboard, and dashboard F stand for form. Hit enter. Now we are good. So dashboard form is created. Of course this is just a blank form. All right, another thing I would like to do is I would like this form to be opened in maximized position as this form. So I double click here, this opens in maximized position, and we'll keep the same color combination as well. So you know, there is a consistency, and consistency is important when you're creating an application. All right, so to open the form in maximized position, let's right click here on form anywhere and design view, and we will go to the event tab, and we have to put a small code behind onload event. So ... click on that, and a pop-up window will open. Code builder, click OK, and in here you have to give a small piece of code, and that is 2cmd.maximize. All right, and this is, so just debug it. All right, now let's click on form view. Will it open in full window? No, I don't think so. Even we have put the code behind it, but still it won't open. The reason is because we have to change two more properties of this form. So form is selected, property sheet is open. We'll go to the other tab, and in here pop-up we have to turn it to yes from no, and modal we have to turn it to yes from no. Now this is optional, modal is optional. If you want, you can keep it as no. If you want it, turn it back. So benefit of turning back it to yes is that people or users who will be using this application cannot get in the application you know, without closing this form. So that's very important. So I always turn it to yes, just for the sake of user experience. And now if we will right click and we will go to the form view, now our form will open in full window. Now right click here. The first thing I would like to do is let's put something here like we did here. All right, rectangle, we put rectangle, so it became some borders. So let's do the same thing here, and to do that we'll go to design, we'll choose the rectangle, and we will make the rectangle here, and we'll go to the format just to change the color combination, and we'll choose this color. Outline, shape outline, we want to keep it as transparent. All right, let's copy and paste, and let's give another color. I think let's give it a green, so it became the same combination that we used in the login form. Another thing, if you remember, I did, for people who have not watched the previous video, for them one more property has to be changed for these two rectangles. The reason is, if I will go to the form view now, you will see that these are extended with the screen orientation. These are extended only till halfway, so we want these to be extended until the end of the width of the form. So irrespective of orientation, that should happen. So to do that, we will select both rectangles, we'll go to the design, and we'll bring in our property sheet. Now we'll go to the format, and in here horizontal anchor, it is currently as left, it is chosen as left, but we want to keep it both. And another thing I want is to change, or not rather change, just do a little modification in the caption of the form. So we'll do a caption dashboard. All right, you can of course type in anything as you want. So let's go to the form view now, and there you go. We have a very nice form. It has borders and it has dashboard. So that's the housekeeping part of it. I know it's a little longer, but that's how it should be done. So housekeeping is done. Now let's do one more thing, and now we want some tiles here, right? And in the under each of those tiles we will create 4 tiles, and each tile will represent what? It will represent this information. So we'll make one tile for employees, we'll make another tile for employee types, we'll make another tile for parts request, and we'll make another tile which will be the 4th one for vehicles. And those tiles will act as a button. So for example, generally you have a drop down menu like this, right? So just think of tiles as the drop down menus, or to navigate, in simple term, to navigate within the application, within the software, you have to have some sort of dashboard, and that's how we are going to create. All right, so let's bring in some tiles. And how about if we change the background color of the form? So let's right click here, and we'll fill some color here. We'll see which one is good. Again, your preference. If you want to keep it white excuse me, you can keep it white, or if you want to give some sort of color, you can give some sort of color. Okay, companies have branding, so you can put your brand color here as well. So right click, design view. I think this color is okay, light colors are fine. And we want to create some tiles here, and that would be, we'll go to the design view and we'll bring in the rectangle again, and we want to keep the tiles in the center of the form, at least from this height perspective. So I think in here it's fine. And if I right click and if I go to the form view, we'll see how it will be aligned. So this is not perfectly aligned to the center of the form. Right click, design view, and we'll drop here. Okay, now next I would like to have a button, and that button will come here. So user will click on that button in order to go to the respective records. So we'll go to the design view, and you must be thinking, hey, what is the purpose of this big rectangle here if we have to have a button also? Well, I will show you in a bit. So we'll go to design and we'll bring in a button, and we want a button here. Okay, and we'll click on cancel. Let's change the style. So let's assume we'll choose this, and okay, we'll change the caption later. First let's go to the form view. So user will click on the button in order to go to the respective records. All right, so let's do a little work on the button. So we'll go to the design view, design tab, property sheet. We'll change the caption, and the first button we want employees. So all right, let's change the color of button. I don't like this color for the button. And what color? Nope, not this one. Nope. Yeah, this would be fine, I think. Let's change the shape outline to transparent, so we don't want any shape. Okay. All right, let's adjust the width of it. As I mentioned, I'm not really master. Maybe these things can be done by by choosing arrange function. I'm not a master, so as I mentioned, and I'm going to create the way I have created most of these dashboards, and it is kind of manual work, and I honestly enjoy, because I know what I'm doing, I know how I'm building, and that's the beauty of doing manual work. Okay, so we'll go to the form view, and we have a nice button and we have a rectangle. Don't you think this rectangle looks little blank? We don't have anything, so this rectangle should not be there if it remains empty. And you would be right, we want something like a picture or icon for the user, so it looks nice, and also it gives kind of a visual representation of what this tile is about or what this button is about. So we'll right click here and we'll click on design view. We'll go to the design tab and we will choose the image element here, and we'll select, or not select, I mean we'll choose the tile, and I already have some pictures, so we'll choose this picture for employee. Okay, now if we will go to the form view, and we can see that we have a nice tile with a little bit of visual of employee. All right, now we are going to replicate this 3 more times. Basically we need to have 4 tiles, so 3 more times we're going to replicate, and we are going to make tiles. All right, so let's copy it, select. I can repeat the same process, but once you have made one tile, you can actually copy and paste that and use the same for, so here we go, the second tile, and let's make the alignment. Let's copy both, paste, and we'll come here. All right, let's change the names, so employee types. Okay, and this is the parts request, so we'll change it parts request. This is the caption we are changing, not the name, sorry. And this one is vehicle. Now let's change the names of these buttons. So we'll select, we'll go to the design, property sheet, other, and here we will change the name, BTN employee types. Okay, and here we'll change the name to BTN parts request. For this we are going to change name to BTN vehicle. All right, and for this I see little misalignment here, so we can, with the arrow key on the keyboard, we can align them. Now let's go to the form view, and we can see 4 tiles are created, and let's change the icons for the rest of the tiles as well. So for this you go to design, property sheet, format, and here is a picture, ... and I already have a picture for employee type. Let's choose this. although it's not employee type, but you can use any picture if you wish to do so. For the parts request, I have a picture. Let's use this one. For vehicle, let's choose this one. All right, now we'll go to the form view, and we have nice 4 tiles laid out. Now what you can do is you can bring these 4 tiles into the center of this form. You can do that easily, but I normally keep it like that, because if in case you are going to extend the functionalities of the database or the software, then you will have enough space to put additional 2 tiles. So that's how you can do it, but I like to keep a little space here. So for this tutorial purpose, what we are going to do, we are going to put them into the center of the form so it looks nice. So we'll go to the design view, we'll close this, and we'll select all, and we will just simply with the arrow key of the dashboard, we'll just change the location of tiles, and then we'll go to the form view. Okay, all right, this also has to be extended. Okay, I think this is a bit better. So you have tiles with the buttons, and of course in coming tutorials we are going to do little programming, and behind each button we are going to put some sort of code. Another important thing while you are making dashboard, what you need to do is you need to put some text box here, which will, labels or text box, which will show who has logged in as what, and we'll put 2 text box here which will show the fiscal year and fiscal month, and we can put another text box here which will be hidden text box, but which will display that user is logged in as what. So these things you must do when you are creating a dashboard, because then you will have to give reference to these elements which we are going to create just now, and you have to give reference when you are making further forms or reports. Later you will understand what I'm trying to say here, but let's go and create some text boxes here. So we'll go to the design view, and we'll bring in a text box here, and we will say welcome, and in this text box we will have a name of the person who has logged on to the database. You must have seen this on the websites and other applications, so I'm trying to replicate that here. Okay, and we'll extend a little bit because some people have a big name, and we will make this background of this text box as a transparent. So to do that, we'll go to here, and now it is transparent. So we'll bring it here so it looks nice, copy that and paste it, and in here we will see that there are different employee types, correct? So we can see what employee type, so that will be fetched from here, employee type. So you want this employee type to appear on the dashboard. So you are logged in as a service advisor, you are logged in as a manager, you are logged in as a parts representative. So a person who has logged in, he or she knows. So you're logged in as, okay, then the rest will display here. It's difficult to align these things. Let's do stacking, and let's change the margin. Oh, not margin, Control Z. Alright, double select it. Let's go to arrange and make it narrow, and I want the fields to be transparent and background transparent and outline also transparent. So if we will go here now we can see that we have two text boxes, and now at the moment you see these text boxes are editable. I mean, you can type anything, and that we don't want that to happen. So we'll go back to design view, we'll select both, we'll go to design, and then in here what we need to do is we'll go to data, and we are going to make it not enabled, and we are going to lock them. Okay, so no one can type it in. So at the moment I cannot type in, right? So that's the benefit. You need to do that. Just make them bold labels. Now let's give them name as well. Remember, every object or element you have to give name, because you have to do a little coding later on. So we'll give name here, and we'll say txt user name of the user who has logged in, and in here we will give txt user role or employee type. Okay, actually one more text box we need to create, and that is to fetch in the ID, employee type ID, txt employee type ID. I will later, when we are doing programming, I will explain why I have added an additional field, and we'll go to the form view. Now this field employee type ID, we don't want user who are using this application to see. So we'll go to the right click design, and we will hide this field. Okay, visible, we'll say no. As a designer, as a developer, you would be able to see this, so you can work around it, but as a user will not be able to see or do anything with it. So it's kind of hidden. It is there, but it's hidden to the user. I know it, I don't know whether it's a right way of doing it or wrong. I'm sure there is another way of doing it, but that's how I do it. It's kind of little shortcut that I use, and it's very effective most of the time. Let's copy and paste, and I want 2 text boxes, not 3. So this time we will say fiscal year, and that's very important to have, and you want this information to be displayed, because if you are making reports, then you need this information. Because for example, some people want to run a report for particular month or particular year, and so they can run a report by giving a reference here. Okay, let's change the name here, txt fiscal year, and for this txt fiscal month, and we want these to be little okay, so and we want these to be on the right side of the form, and we'll go to the format. At the moment it is horizontal anchor is left, we'll make it right, and if we'll go to the form view, and we have these text boxes nicely. Okay, so that is it. I think we have created a dashboard. We have got we have kept the same styling as a login form, so the continuity of the branding, and we have made 4 tiles, and each of these tiles represents some sort of data. And of course, as I mentioned, we are going to do a little programming for later on behind each button. Before I forget, we need to make another button, and that button would be log out. So we can make another button and place somewhere. So we'll go to the design view, click a button, and alright, so we'll change the caption, log out. We'll change the style, let's make it red because it says log out. Let's change the name, BTN logout, and let's change the size. And let's go to the format tab and let's change the horizontal vertical to the right side, and horizontal anchor and vertical anchor to the bottom. Okay, save it, form view. There you go. We have nicely placed button for logout. So once a user is done with the day or want to log out of the application, they can click here and the application will logged out. That is it for today. We have successfully made the dashboard. I hope you have learned something. If you like this video, smash the like button, share it with others, hit the bell icon, subscribe to the channel, all the regular stuff. And I hope that I will see you in the next video as well. Thank you very much for watching and take care of yourself.